All right, guys, welcome everybody. Welcome to the podcast. Maybe New Zealand's number one podcast here with your host, Brandon. Grateful to be here. Before we get started, we just want to make a few announcements before we get going into our podcast. Number one is we just like to send all our love and support to all those families in Tonga. Our prayers and our hearts with you guys, and hopefully everything's going okay. Other than that, wherever you are tuning in from, if you're tuning in on YouTube, if you're watching YouTube, or if you are listening to Spotify or Apple Podcasts, don't be afraid to tune in. Hit the follow and subscribe, and there's some good content ahead of us. Speaking of great content, joining us here today, we have a special guest with us. We got Soni Mesake with us, brother. How's it going?
All good. It's good to be here, bro.
Bro, good to have you, bro. We have an athlete and champion here with us. We'll go into a little bit later and along with the show. But first of all, bro, just give us an introduction of yourself. Give us your name, your age, where you're from, and then also your favorite food. And then just give us a brief background of what you've been up to lately.
Sweet. Hello, everyone. My name is Soni. I'm original from Tonga, but I stay in Onehunga, Central Auckland. I'm 25 years old, and me and my family, we moved here in 2011, and then that's where it all started. I went Onehunga High School.
Hey, let's go.
My favorite food would have to be cheesecake. I know it's not a food, it's a dessert, but I love cheesecake, bro. That's like the first food I eat.
Cheesecake is amazing.
Yeah.
What's your favorite type of cheesecake? What's your go-to?
Oh, love chocolate, bro. I have to go with my chocolate. But, yeah, man. Every time I finish my competition, that's the first thing that comes to my head. It's just, let's go.
Cheesecake. I like it, bro. Yeah, just bro, talk to us what you've been up to lately. You just told us that competition, right? You just finished competing, correct?
Yep. So I've actually started I've started competing when I was 20 years old.
Yeah.
And that was straight when I finished from high school. But it was all started when I used to do services academy. So that's when I started to get into fitness and that. But I've never actually I've never wanted to be like those guys who jump on the stage and do competing. But then it was my dad, because my dad, he used to do shows when he was young. So he kind of wanted me to give it a go, probably try to continue his legacy or whatever. But so I've competed 6 times, and I've only my first one I lost, and that was my only loss, was my first one. And the last one was in December, the one that I just finished. And it's a good sport. I've learned a lot about myself. It was I guess is the biggest lesson that I've learned so far from the sport is self-love.
Self-love.
Yeah. Kind of when you, I feel like there's not that much people that they don't really know about themselves, I guess. But yeah, that's like the biggest lesson I learned was to get to know about myself and how far I can go in the sports. And it just helps me to believe in myself, and it just helps me to, self-control as well.
That's mean, bro.
Yeah.
Just appreciate what you just shared. One thing that stood out when you're talking about, yourself, about bodybuilding, is something that is self-love, right? And I think that's a big thing to point out. And I guess, speaking about bodybuilding and the sport, right, talking about self-love, Just talk to us about your journey, bro, and your background. I guess what really inspired you to, I guess, compete those 5 years, or what really pushed you to, maybe, I guess you touched about your dad, right, wanting to fulfill the legacy, but for you personally, like, what really inspired you to pursue that sport?
Just like I said before, it was just one of those where I just I grew up in it, and but I never like really think on like actually jump on the stage and compete.
Yeah.
It was I just like kind of like give it a go, and then it feels good, and that's where it all started. Like no one's really inspired me to do bodybuilding. It was just I just wanted to try something new, and then I was surprised that like this is kind of like give me some positive energy to myself, and that's what makes me like do bodybuilding, because of that feelings, that the happy feelings,
the positive energy,
that positive energy that you get from the sports while you're doing it. It's like every time you work out, and every time you like work so hard for the comp, and like getting on top of the stage and you do your thing, and then it just feels good, like to actually know like your hard work is being paid off, and that's what makes me like really into bodybuilding, and that's where it all started. It was just all from like self-positive feelings kind of thing, and
that's cool. I feel like that's an important thing to just remember, is like, right, we're all trying to, a lot of us struggle to find things that bring positive value for ourselves, especially in our own community. And I guess for you, it's pretty cool, bro, just to be able to, take that and to pursue that, and to create those positive vibes and positive energy. Because it's like not only inspiring, or doing it for yourself, but, bro, you're inspiring a lot of other people too, because just with the hard work, discipline, the things that you go through, right? And it's not easy, obviously, but like, especially when you won, that recent competition, right? Just talk to us about like the emotions and what you felt, during that moment.
I don't know, like I literally just stood on the stage. It was just, I was trying my best to hold my tears, just because on that competition, the last one that I did, that's probably like the longest. So I think I was on diet since August last year, and all the way to December, and I think that's like the longest I worked so hard for the comp as well. All my friends going out, and they going out and have fun, party, do their thing, but here I am just staying home. Have to stay home because of my diet and that.
Bro, that's not easy, bro.
Yeah, it is.
Like when your friends like, hey, let's go out,
Yeah, and it's even more funny is like, sometimes I go out with them, but then again, it's like, I have to cook my food, and I have to go with them, and
then you eat your food.
I eat my food at the back of the car, and then here they are like eating their McDonald's and everything on the front, and they're like, bro. But I just feel blessed, and obviously I've been praying so hard for it, and knowing that my prayer has been answered, that kind of like makes me feel more emotional on the stage, and it's just it just feels good. It's unreal, because there's so many good athletes as well in my class, especially the last one, because that's like the whole New Zealand. But I was surprised, and just like to thank to my coach as well, because I didn't do this by myself. It was with his helps and the team as well. So I just feel blessed. Like it's so unreal that I just go back 2 years. last year, and then back to the competitions and I took it out. So yeah.
Bro, that's super cool. When you mentioned those things, bro, two things stood out to me. I guess one was the fact that, you know, when you mentioned about, bro, I've been praying for this, you know, working hard for this, and then the second thing is your coach, right?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't really realize, but they understand is like, first of all, one, like when it comes to prayer, right? Like you're not just praying and I bet you weren't just praying and hoping, you know, that it was gonna come true, right? It was about like when you pray, that means you had to have faith, right? And then when you have faith, you need to have action.
Yeah.
So you're actually putting those actions towards what you're doing. And then with that support, is like there's always going to be people there to support you. You just have to find the right people. And that's super cool, bro, because that's something that we really need to understand and enlighten in our community, is like knowing that that first of all, like we have to take action and to achieve any goal, right? We need to be able to achieve our actions, and we have to set plans to achieve those things. And then also sometimes we think we have to do it alone, right? But we don't. Bro, it's like there's nothing that you can get in this life, you know, alone, right? We have to work towards that, right?
Yeah, and I actually like how you say that, because I felt that when you say that sometimes you have to work alone, right? Yeah, because that's, I've been through that a lot, especially the last competitions, yeah, some of my close mates, I have to kind of like leave them, stay away from them, just because I feel like they, you know, they're not really supportive of my goal in that, and that's the thing. Like if you have any goals, like, you know, you have to surround yourself with right people, right? And you know, like even if you have to leave them, those close ones that were there for you since day one, like I'm okay with it. Like all I'm focused on is my goal. I have to reach my goal, and that's what I did in the past too. And then sometimes I feel so alone, but I'm just grateful that I have family as well. They always have my back. But talking about prayers and that, that actually helps me to believe in myself. Even, you know, like even I have to do this by myself. Like I knew that He was there for me, and you just gotta need to put the work in there, because
that's all it is, bro. It's all about the work, and like, you know, like a lot of people, I guess sometimes we complain about the process, right? About like, oh, like I can do that, but you know, a lot of us are willing to see it, but we're not willing to do the work, you know. And I feel like, you know, that's something that we really need, especially that you are an example of, right? You know, doing what you say you're gonna do, achieving those goals, you know, the discipline and mindset, right? And that's something that, you know, I guess we're kind of touching on right now, is the mindset that you have towards your competition. It has to be a strong mindset, It has to be like, you know, a really strong mindset, really because not a lot of people can do what you did, you know. Like just think about it, like the discipline that you have to do, the diet that you do, the training and the workouts you have to do, and not only that, but you also working at the time as well, So you're like you're balanced. That's what I'm saying, like you balancing your time and stuff, bro. Like just talk to us about that mindset that you had to have.
So I've always have like I think all of us have, like, whenever we set a goal, we always have like a strong heart that we can do it. But the thing is that I've realized in myself is, yes, I do have the heart to do it, but my mind was always weak. You know what I mean? But so what I'm trying to say, like, you gotta train your mind in order for you to fulfill what you feel towards your goals, and that's what I've been working on, like since I started bodybuilding. It was the most important thing to have is to have a strong mindset, because, you know, like I can set my goal today, I can say, tomorrow I'm gonna go gym at 4 o'clock, straight after work. and then after work I feel tired.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, and but my mind is like I want to go work out, but it's because I feel tired. So that's why it's really important to have a strong mindset. So you gotta go with your mind. You gotta train your mind to be strong, to go together with what you feel.
What you feel.
Yeah.
That's so true, bro. That's so true.
Yeah.
A lot of us have the heart, but we don't have the mind for it. Bro, that's mean.
Yeah. So that's the kind of mindset that I have while I was prepping, and always try. I don't know. This might sound a little bit cocky, but it works for me. You know, like you gotta do what will help you toward your goal. Hey, what's good for you?
100%, bro.
Yeah, but I've always in my head I've always think that I'm a leader.
Yeah.
So when you become a leader, you're not a follower, and you're no longer a follower. So which means you have to be different from others. And in my head, like every time I go to the gym, like I have to figure out what makes me different from others in the gym, and even on the stage, even when it comes to diets, like obviously all of us are like eating the same. Majority of us athletes, we eat the same food, like chicken, broccoli, and everything. But I have to kind of figure out what can I do that kind of like makes me different from them. So when I cook my chicken, I always like put it in the oven. 'Cause I always try to make it like dry as that kind of like makes me different from them.
Yeah. That sets you apart.
Yeah, that kind of same. Yeah, that's how you say it. But you know what I mean? Like you always try to be. I've always tried to be different from others, and that kind of helps me.
That's mean, bro.
Yeah, but you gotta mindset. You gotta train your mindset to be strong, bro.
Bro, that's so true.
Yeah. But because when you have a strong mindset, then everything will fall into places. Like that's when you discipline, and that's when you stay consistent to whatever you do in life. It just makes things easier when your mind, because your heart is always strong. We all of us here, we can believe in something and we can achieve it. But if you have a weak mind, then it won't happen.
That's the key, bro. Is just being consistent. Consistency and with your mindset, right? Yeah, bro. That's something that we need, bro. Especially big time, especially in our community. Sometimes we have a lack of consistency. Like sometimes we'll be okay on day 1, day 2, but then day 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Like then we just like to start back over again. And just trying to train our mindset. I guess what is one thing that you did to train your mind?
You have to be. One thing that I always trying to do is try to do what I don't like.
Just do it. What you don't like to do.
Yeah, just kind of like
do it, yo.
Just do it like you like it. Oh, freak! If that makes sense in a way.
Nah, yeah, that makes sense. Do it like you want to do it. Yeah.
It's like example, like I go to the gym, and my coach always said your max reps will be 15 reps. And when it comes to 14, 13 reps, I always like already feel like
you feel it.
I'm gonna stop here, but I gotta keep going.
Pushing.
Keep pushing it. So that's one thing that I always do. I always do what I don't like to do. Like most of us. This is me before. When I go to the gym, I only go and work out the part that I like. Or go to the machine that I feel good.
You feel good,
yeah. But so right now, like lately, that's how I train my mind. Like I gotta do what
you don't want to do.
Don't want to do.
And then when you do it, the more you do it, the more you're gonna like it.
Yeah.
And then you like it, oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it is, eh?
Yeah. Yeah. So you gotta, and that's like that seems to like that can relate to anyone else out there. That you know, whatever goals that you say, sometimes you gotta have to do. You gotta do something different. Otherwise, you're just gonna stay in the same place. Do you know what I mean? You gotta take the risk. In order to make a difference, because if not, you're just gonna stay in the same spot all the time. But yeah.
Moving on to mindset and stuff. You know, a lot of it has to do with coming back from setbacks and failures, right? And you know, speaking about those things, like, I'm pretty sure like there's been some tough times, you know, throughout your process, right? Trying to achieve your goals, especially with that competition. But I guess what's one failure or setback that you have been grateful for?
I would say my first competitions. That was my first loss. I remember because I prepped so hard for that first one because I didn't want to look bad because this is my first time.
Yeah.
So I remember when they, you know, like when they call out the place, and then I came second. And yeah, even though like I should have just been grateful for it, but yeah, because my mind is I didn't have any plan B.
Yeah.
I've always like aimed for the best.
Aim for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, like when I say that, I actually believe in it. And it's because of that kind of hit me when I was like, you know, when I knew that I came second.
Yeah.
And from that day, I remember I was supposed to have a cheat meal on the next day, but I told my coach I'm gonna jump straight to plan on the next day, and I'm gonna work harder than before. So that's something that I'm grateful. That made me who I am like now. That kind of gave me the
motivation.
Yeah, the motivations, because I don't wanna go back to that feelings anymore. You know. I just wanna, so it has to be my first competitions, and all my competition as well, because you know, like when they call, you know, that you are the winner, that makes you wanna keep that feelings. Yeah. You want that feelings again on the next competitions, but that's one thing that I'm grateful for is, you know. But that's kind of like normal to all of us, you know. Sometimes we fail, and that it's depend on how we take that.
How we take that. Yeah.
But that's how I take it. Like,
bro, that's mean. That's so cool. Pushing and striving, like, I guess you could say, you know, just no room for failure, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's mean.
Yeah, and also like. Oh, that's huge, but I'll probably just gonna use that. That's one of the biggest.
The biggest one, eh?
The biggest one.
I guess with that, you know, it comes a lot of, you know, experience, and also a lot of other experiences, like what you said. I guess speaking of your experiences, right? What's one piece of advice that you could give yourself?
I would say just believe in yourself. And what I mean by believing in yourself, you know, like you gotta be all in. You gotta be all in to whatever your goal is. And you just gotta believe that you can do it.
Yeah.
Aim for the best and just work hard for it. You know, like you can be a blessing to others as well. You don't have to look up to someone and get inspired from them to reach your goals, because I feel like majority of us now generation is like, whenever we see someone who achieved their goals, we always try to know how did they achieve their goals.
How they get to where they're at.
And then we kind of like use their patterns instead of you know, using ours. I actually believe like each of every one of us, like we have the potential to reach anything that we want in this life.
100%, bro.
We just gotta need to, we just gotta need to believe in yourself and just work hard for it, because that's how you know your potential, is when you put the action to it. And so I guess I'll just say, and also make sure you sometimes it's good to take time to have time for yourself and kind of like study about yourself, to know yourself. Because I feel like we always like trying to know some stuff that we want to know, but we don't really take time to know about ourselves.
Yeah. So we need time to reflect on who we are and ourselves, because I think that's the big thing, that you mentioned, is like sometimes we don't really know our purpose and what we want to achieve, and and that kind of gives us unfocused, right? It makes us unfocused on our goals or dreams or what we want to do.
Yeah,
it's so true, bro.
Yeah, right. So that's like really important. You must know yourself, in order to to know your way toward your goals. You can't just go out and study about someone else and how they achieve their goals and use their ways to achieve your goals. Like every one of us, like we have our own ways to achieve our goals.
There's not only one way to do things, right? There's other ways. Bro, that's so true. Some of us are stuck in like doing one way,
right.
Yeah. And all of us really think like there's more than one ways to to achieve our goals.
Yeah, 100%, bro.
Bro, that's true. I guess moving on to our last question, bro. Speaking about knowing ourselves, what does authentic mean to you?
Like I said before, trust yourself,
Yeah.
You gotta believe in yourself and do things your ways.
Yeah.
I'm just grateful that my journey in bodybuilding is I never like look up to anyone else and try to get their ways to to put on my journey, but
just to build your own ways.
Yeah, build your own ways.
Yeah.
But I guess that's what I mean, bro. You just gotta believe in yourself and trust yourself.
Trust yourself.
Yeah.
Bro, that's so true. Bro, that's mean. Trust ourselves and what we do. Believe ourselves, what we can do, all things.
Yeah.
Bro, that's what we need to learn. Guys, we'd like to thank Soni for being with us today, bro. Thank you for your words of wisdom and your influence, and bro, we're grateful for your experiences and talking to us about your journey. Bro, actually, is there anything that you would like to say before we finish?
Nah, just thanks for the opportunity. I've tried my best to give all my advice, but just gotta always stay positive, stay humble, be kind to others. That will help you. They will help you with to get to know who you really are. Always try to be kind and be humble as well.
That's so true. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us, guys. If you're listening, on Spotify, Apple Podcast, tune in, right? So like, subscribe, and comment. Let us know what you think in the comments below as well. Here on YouTube. Other than that, guys, we'll probably have Soni with us again sometime soon in the future on other podcast episodes to go. But until then, guys, make sure you stay safe, be kind, be good, like what Soni said. Also, man, guys, make sure you guys go and make the year yours. It's 2022, new year. Do good things. Be positive, get things going. Until then, till the next episode, we'll see you guys later. All right, guys, we out.
Sweet.